I bought a nice ring light, so I no longer have to record in the morning when the natural lighting is super good. So you're probably gonna see less and less of me drinking coffee at the start of the videos and maybe more protein shakes. Hey everyone, long time no see. It's definitely been a while. I want to get right into the content. I don't want to like talk about myself too much, but towards the end of the video, I'll talk about my plans for YouTube because I do have a lot of plans for it, and so I'd like to let you guys in on that. Today we are talking about the Romaleos 4, and I have a lot to say because I decided to give them another chance. Now keep in mind, when I do these shoe reviews, I'm not a shoe expert. I'm not going to talk about the materials on the shoe and what it's made out of and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you about how it feels, how functional it is, and whether it's good compared to other top weightlifting shoes or not. Now, since I last made a video about it, which was basically when the shoe came out, so many international lifters are wearing the shoe. It seems to be the most common worn weightlifting shoe these days. Now, that already is a good sign for this review. So the first primary point I want to discuss is the heel slip, because that was my biggest issue with the shoe in the first video. I felt like my foot was actually moving a ½ inch out of the shoe every time I took a step. So when you're lifting, you have to consider this. If I do a snatch or a clean or a jerk and I prop up onto my toes, there's that split second where my foot's gonna leave the shoe and then the shoe's gonna follow me. Now, how much that actually affects your performance is hard to say. But if your foot's wiggling around the shoe a bunch, that is a huge issue. Let me give you guys a little bit of context. So I did American Open Finals in December, and I took a break. I decided to do a little bit of CrossFit training just to change it up. And I was like, you know what? I'll try the Romaleo 4s again. Give them a chance, see how they feel. They really weren't that bad. I just didn't want to wear them. I had better shoes. So I've been training in them now for 4 months, and so I have different things to say about them. So let's continue on about the heel slip. After 4 months, it seems like the shoe has broken in and morphed around my foot a little bit more, which has helped with the heel slip tremendously. I'd say after 1 week of training, the shoes seem to mold to my foot much better. And you have to keep in mind, like, your feet are gonna sweat, and that by itself is gonna help grip the shoe to your foot a little bit more. But when I made my first video, that was already happening. My feet were sweating when I was wearing the shoe, and I still had a ton of heel slip. So clearly something else had to change to make the shoe grip to my feet a little bit better. If you saw my follow-up video to that, I cut off the bottom strap, and that was just because I didn't feel like it was helping me in any way. I felt like it was just adding dead weight to the shoe. It's a little uncomfortable to have my foot squeezed kind of, I don't even know where that is, but behind my toes, the balls of the feet, but at the top where your bunion would be, I guess. That was uncomfortable. So I took off the strap. I didn't need it. It didn't feel like it was locking my foot into the shoe anymore, and my heel slip didn't get better or worse when I cut that strap off. So that's something to consider as well. On that note, I do notice a significant difference in the stability of my foot and the reduction of heel slip when this top strap is very tight. So that's something to consider too. I have other weightlifting shoes where the strap doesn't seem to make a big difference. The shoe wraps around my foot very well. The laces do a good job of locking my foot into place. With this pair of shoes, I think having that top strap really locked down makes a big difference. The previous installment of the Romaleos was the Romaleos 3, and that shoe was much lighter than this pair, and they seem to be a little bit narrower, at least in the outsole. So you'll notice in this pair of shoes, we have these, let's see if I can show you. We have these sharp edges, kind of where the balls of your feet would be. That's gonna add stability as you're lifting. Same here towards the heel. We have these outer edges that are helping with your balance and your stability. I do notice a difference wearing these shoes compared to others. I do have a lot more stability, and I do feel a lot more locked down to the ground. Now, if you've had the Romaleo 2s, those shoes also seem to lock your feet down very well. They're very flat on the bottom. They are heavy. Those all make a big difference in how stable you're going to be when you're lifting. I did want to cover a couple of those key points about the shoe. I don't want to dive into every single aspect because if you see my first review, you will get all of those other aspects. So those were the key points I wanted to talk about. And primary thing is I was wrong about the shoe. It's not as bad as I thought. And in the video, I tend to seem pretty neutral, I think. But if you look in the comments, you can tell I'm like kind of dogging on the shoes. And I'd just like to say, if you give them a fair shot, they should break in and mold around your foot very well. And I think they're great weightlifting shoes. I think they're going to be a better option compared to other things on the market. I know Noble is a company that's growing a lot. I think they have $300 weightlifting shoes. They have a like this leather layered heel. It looks like a wood heel, so I'm sure that draws a little bit of attention from other weightlifters. But like, I'm not going to spend $300 on weightlifting shoes that not a lot of elite weightlifters are wearing. A lot of elite lifters are going to be wearing these shoes, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Now that the heel slip issue has sorted itself out, I'd like to say that the shoes seem to be true to size. So I normally wear 8s in my training shoes, my weightlifting shoes. I know some people go a half size down for their weightlifting shoes. I've stuck to 8s and it seemed to work, and same with these Romaleos. I hope some of those key points were helpful for you guys. The primary reason I wanted to make this video is because I was wrong about the heel slip, and I felt like I needed to make amends about that, essentially, because there are going to be people who see that video and go, if there's heel slip, like, no chance, I'm not even going to try the shoe out. But again, if you give it a chance, if you break it in, if you sweat in the shoe a little bit, it should grip to your feet a little bit better. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. So a couple notes about what I've been up to and what I plan to do with YouTube. In one of the last videos I made, I talked about leaving my job and starting a business. And I have. It's called the Weightlifters Guild. So what I do is mostly just virtual coaching and programming for people. So I do it for general population, people who are just getting into fitness, people who are into general strength and conditioning, weightlifters, gymnasts, athletes, advanced athletes, etc. So there is a wide range of people I am writing and programming for, but the bread and butter is strength and conditioning programming. So if you're a track and field athlete, I'm probably not writing your running workouts, but this is strength and conditioning programming. So if you're a rock climber, I'm not writing your climbing workouts, I'm writing the strength and conditioning stuff you will do supplementary to that, etc. So if you go to my website, you can see that I have that individualized section for that, and I also have pre-written programs that you can purchase for a little bit cheaper, and things that are more specific to what you are doing. Of course, individualized is going to be the most specific, and it's going to be the best bang for your buck in terms of how you're progressing. But again, I have the pre-written stuff there for people who are on a little bit more of a budget. I also sell these t-shirts. So if you want any of that stuff, you can check out my website. It's weightliftersguild.com. And let's talk YouTube. So I've been gone for a while. I've had a lot on my plate, figuring out the business stuff, just kind of living life, enjoying not having a 9-to-5 job, but I do want to get back into YouTube, especially because I have this extra time and because my job now is virtual. So I am going to be uploading weekly YouTube videos. I have not picked an exact day that I will upload consistently. I'm sure it doesn't matter to most of you who do watch my videos, but I will be uploading weekly, and I'll be trying to build the channel. We'll be talking gymnastics, strength and conditioning, weightlifting, competition, athlete mindset, etc. So again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.